Hello again, and welcome back to another tutorial. And this time I will show you how you actually can clean the lens element in an old Nikon serie E 50mm 1.8, and this is a cheap series of Nikon lenses, manual lenses. And but they actually performed quite good. So let's have a look inside in this old fellow, which is not that old, but I will just tell you what we actually need for cleaning lens. And so we zoom out a little and you will see a lot of things. Well, we need some rubber tools here, different size, not really for taking off the lens. Well, it could be. We need a 1 or 2 different lens, lens sucker, which is very handy. We need some tools. This is a modified Phillips 00, so it actually works as just like, I know it's not a real JIS screwdriver, which I actually have ordered right now, a few minutes ago, just to see how they will actually work in real life. There will be a video about that explain how the difference in JIS and Phillips screwdrivers, crosshead. Now we need some also very handy, some dentist tool, which especially the spade and the pointy sand or something. And we need a tool. I mean, those cones are really handy. I mean, in some cases, and I will also use them in this. But I also make another tool which is made of the rear cap for the Nikon lenses, double adhesive tape. And it's actually, I made it because I couldn't unscrew the nameplate. Well, I could unscrew it, but I couldn't take it out, so therefore that. And we need some cleaning fluid. I use the Eclipse sensor cleaning fluid, and I will also use the lighter fluid. But the main thing is that I will use Hydrogenperoxid, which you have in this glass. It's 3%, and I will use just ordinary tap water, and it will be a mix of 50mm 3% hydrogen and 25 milliliter water. And I flush the water through a filter bag for coffee, so I have no, I mean, some small things in the water. And of course a blower is also very handy. So let's jump into it. I will just mix the 50mm Hydrogenperoxid in a glass bowl, which I have put in a lens tissue, which is very handy for this. And I will add the 25 milliliter water. That's it. So now the mix of some of the cleaning fluid is actually ready to use now. Okay, let's go, and I will simply just take off the front first, and for this very handy tool, which is quite simple to make, and I can use this because it's a little curved, if you see here. So therefore the lens, the front lens, is actually pretty flat, not completely flat, but just have a small, slightly curved front lens. So therefore I can just put this on and then unscrew. And it's quite easy to unscrew it, because then the front name ring will stick to the rear lens cap. So that's very easy. Now I also need to take off the front here, this ring, and for that I will use my handy rubber tool, which is quite handy. I mean, I begin to loosen it at first. So it is. Now take care. The front lens element is absolutely free at the moment. So I will just use my lens sucker and put it on. So, and lift out the, hopefully lift out the front lens element. Well, I just forgot to show you how it actually looked before I clean it. And if you look through the lens, well, it looks a pretty, a lot of dirt and dust and whatever, haze could be. So it will be very interesting to see how good it will be. Now off with the lens element and put it on some kind of rubber thingy. Maybe this one will work. Bit too. It's not very easy to put them on something. No, I think I will go for that. So just park there. Now the front lens is actually sitting in a kind of a frame, or a where the next lens element is sitting. So I need to unscrew this screw here, there, and there. There's no idea to unscrew the other three, which hold the front frame, maybe you can see there, this ring. So there is no need for take that off. But before doing so, I already did that, but for you, just set a mark so you know the exact position of this lens element. There could be some kind of differences in where the lens frame should sit. I don't know. But just so you have a starting point. So off for that. Tiny screws. And they are magnetic. My screwdriver is magnetic. So, and off for that. Now, it's possible to simply take out the whole front assembly and put that aside. Now there is also a back lens. There is actually two lenses in here. So before I continue, I will just take some gloves on to make it cleaner when working it. I do not have a clean room, but my working area is actually pretty clean. So yeah, So continue with that. There is a retaining ring that holds this lens element, which has a very curved lens, and it also holds the next lens element in place. So by using my rubber cones here, I can actually get the back retaining ring off quite easy. Of course, I have to use the correct size, which sometimes can be a little tricky to figure out, but this one will actually work okay. Well, since there is some slightly small amount of kind of thread lock or lacquer they put on here to prevent the retaining ring from coming off itself. So but it's not a problem, because I can just use some nail polish remover on a, oh come on, so on a cotton bud. But one should be careful when using on plastic, but this is all metal, so you can just add a little and let it suck into the nail polish, the thread locker. And this is with acetone, so because acetone is actually melting plastic, and of course also the thread locker here. Now then I can use my rubber cone here and simply unscrew it, and you need some good pressure on it. Yeah, it's free. Take good care, because when unscrewing this retaining ring is actually also the mount for the lens. One lens, because there is another one here. So take good care. You see, this sit in the retaining ring itself and cannot come out. So, but I will clean it anyway. And this I can just pop in my hand, just to be sure how they sit actually. So we can just see it here, and also take the front lens. So it sits like this one here, the very front, the next, and the back. So this is the front lens group itself, and that's the cleaning in the front. I will also clean the back lens group, but let's see what I can do about it. How does it actually look when putting a torch through it? Well, there are some dust and specks and so, but I think it will turn out to be very good, really good for this. So just put it, the lens somewhere where you can put it. Now I will begin with the front lens itself, because then it's just easier to put in and then do the rest. Now then I need some no, I will actually just put it into the all the lens element. I will simply just put them in here in the mix of lighter fluid, no, not lighter fluid, sorry, hydrogen peroxide and water. So there it goes. But I'm not very sure about the painted lens here, because the edge around here is actually paint. What kind of paint I don't actually not sure, but I will just clean this one with the lens tissue dipped into the to the mix, and put it on this stand so I can clean it. Where is my... This is the PEG pad, non-abrasive wipes. They're really good for that kind of work. So, and then dip it into this kind of, it's not really a solvent, it's more a cleaning mix. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just as I see it. It's not a solvent like lighter fluid or Eclipse sensor cleaning, but it also works like a kind of solvent. So now I can try to see if this will do any difference, which I hope. And the other side. And then I will simply just use, well, I will try to use the lighter fluid on one corner of this one, and maybe I have to do it twice. That's very normal when cleaning lenses. Yeah. That's just amazing. Well, just do the other side of this cleaning. And then the lighter fluid. Try to add that and see how it will go. So just around in circles, and then you go out to the edge, and then there shouldn't be anything left. So let's have a look at this one. Oh, that was a hair. But as you can see, there is a big difference in those from the first to the cleaned lens element. Well, I think it will be good, this one. So now those lenses has been into the mix, and let's see how they will actually look like. So I will just use the smaller one. I think this will be fine. So I will take the inside first. And is it possible to get that there? They're very good to act as a stand. Those rubber thingy. So just add some lighter fluid and go around in circles. Maybe it will not work at first, but if I turn it over, I have to do it twice. I think it works best, because only do it once, it's not the same. Again, cleaning. Yeah, I think it will be better. Just do another go. Because doing the inside first will make it easier to do the curved side outside much easier. It's not done yet, so I will do the inside again. Another lens tissue. And then this should be the final cleaning for this lens element. I will also try the Eclipse, of course. So, wow, it looks pretty amazing. This is simply just amazing how clear this glass element will be. So, and on the next lens element I will use the Eclipse to clean that, just to see how different they act. So, this is just amazing, but if I put a torch through it, wow, this is great. I mean, it's much better than it was. There was something over here that I just need to take away. So I'll just do it again. Just a little. So here we are. Now I can just put this lens element back into my front part and add the back lens element for this one. So, interesting thing. And just do something here. And then put this on here. It's not really necessary to use any thread lock. I mean, one could use some nail polish. I mean, it could be that way. It will be put in and sit. So, how does this actually look? It's clean. That's just amazing. Now, it's time for the front lens element that has been into the mix for a little, and I can just use some to just wipe away some of the mix. It doesn't really matter, and put it on a stand here. Yeah, I can use this one here, and do the front first. It's a bit too small. Well, it doesn't matter. I will turn over the lens. Now a lens tissue, and then I would like to try the Eclipse and see how it will go. I have really good experience with both lighter fluid and Eclipse, but it all depending on what's actually on the lens surface, because sometimes the Eclipse works best, and in other situations the lighter fluid works best. It all depends on what kind of stuff is on the lens. So let's see, and I think the lighter fluid evaporates faster than the lighter fluid evaporates faster than the Eclipse. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just my... Wow, it's really good. So let's see how it looks through a light. Yeah, there are something on. It's not fully done. So I will just do another go for this. But this time I'll try the lighter fluid again. I think it just do things better. So yeah. And then the inside of the front lens, and more lighter fluid. So, wow. This is simply just amazing. I think it's so fantastic. But how will it go? Well, there are some specs on the front which I cannot get rid of. But the inside of the front lens is actually pretty good. Well, I'll just do it a last time and then put it in to the into the front lens groups. So then I think it should be fine for now. Then put it back in here. Click. And it sits there, and hopefully there isn't any small hairs, and yeah, there was. Oh, is it on the very back? No, it's on the inside. So, it was much better. I mean, this is just an inspiration. I mean, it hopefully is an inspiration to people who want to clean their lenses in an easy way. So, and just the retaining ring will go on again. I know there was some kind of polish, locking fluid, but if you tighten the front ring for the lens retaining ring, it will just sit really good. And where did it go? There. So, and it sits there very good. There's something on the front, I know that, but I will clean it when I put it back into the lens. Close the aperture, which is quite good to do that. And then I will take the back part. So, and where is my small mark somewhere? It sits there. It sits there, and where did it went? Over here. And then I can just put it back in. So that was part of it. And then put the screws in here. And then I will continue with the back lens group. So it'll be quite good. Where did it go? Here. So, and now it's actually almost done, so I can just put the nameplate on here. So, really smart, this handy tool. And I am very sure you have one of those caps at home, if you have a Nikon camera. So I will take off the mount on the back here. The 3 screws here is actually not magnetic, I found out, because one disappeared, so I have to use another screw from another lens. But it simply disappeared and haven't. And they are non-magnetic, so it's difficult to get when they fall on the floor. Now, off with the mount. There's some details here. The aperture pin that comes from this back here, as you can see. And it goes into here and actually move the aperture mechanism inside there. And the aperture ring is actually moving the other pin. So, but we can just close the aperture. Just take off the, no, there's no need for that. But the inside here is actually made of plastic, or a kind of plastic. There's also some bloody hairs here. I don't know where they come from. Now, there is a retaining ring here on the back, which I need to unscrew fully. And for that, it's very handy with those rubber cones. And do not use, the ring can sit pretty tight, so don't use any nail polish remover or acetone, because you will damage the plastic parts here, not the metal retaining ring. So, but let's go into it and screw it, which is quite easy. So that's it. Now a lens sucker is very handy. Just put it on, take out the lens. This is a very back lens, so it has a, when we see here, it's completely flat on the inside and is a bit curved on the outside towards the camera, so be aware of that. And there is a next lens element which is really curved, and remember how the spacer between the two lens elements is actually sitting, because it's a kind of a flat surface here towards the camera, and the other end of the, or the other side of the this ring is more kind of a very thin edge, so be sure about that. And then I can just pop the next lens element into my hand, so, and it looks like this. It's a cemented lens, so I will not drop it into the mix of hydrogen peroxide and water, but just use a what you say, a lens tissue to actually clean it with, which is also a good thing. So just add a little here, let it suck in. I think it's quite difficult to get the get the lens tissue wet. I don't know if the water, the mix here, because if you just use water it's very easy, but I think it's hydrogen peroxide that is making things a bit trouble in that way. Now let's see how the lens actually look before I clean it. Well, you can see there's a lot of dirt on it. On the back of, towards the camera, and on the inside of the lens. So let's see how it will go. It's interesting, this stuff. Just to try to see how clean a lens can be. And you see here some of the paint is actually falling off, so take care of that. Now then I will just clean the, I'll just add a little more of this mix. Very strange. Well, there's a lot of fluid on this lens tissue, so and I use another corner here. Just to make this thing wet. So, and things come off. Now I'll just do like this, put it on here, and use another lens tissue. I think I will come up to 3 in this this video. I will simply just continue with the lighter fluid, because it simply just works much better than the Eclipse in this case. Maybe it would be different in other cases, and you see it takes a little of the painting on the edge It's not really the lighter fluid, but I think it's more the mix that doing things, because hydrogen peroxide is actually a very light kind of what do you say? Wow, it's a kind of yeah, it takes away stuff, not like acetone. So I'll just do the inside. Yeah, we are getting there. So the outside, which is, because then it's easy for me to put the lens in to the actual body, lens body. Yeah, there's something on here. So maybe I should try to use the Eclipse and see how it will go. They work in different way, those two solvents, cleaning solvents. So yeah, well, I can say the mix is actually taking, I mean, they softened the painting, which is interesting. But I will just do it again. Just doing so, this. Oh. Yeah. So it's fine there. There's some old thingy here that I cannot get away. So I'll just leave it as it is. You cannot be, oh, wrong side, there was one here. So it looks pretty good. As I see it, there are something inside which I don't actually know where they come from, but the lens element looks much better than it was. So I will just put it in to the mount. Okay. And then drop it in here. So no matter what, it will help a lot. Now the ring here, the spacer ring for the two lens element, will go in and take care of how it was facing. The very, I mean, this side is thicker than the other side, so it will go towards the camera. I mean the thin side is towards the front. So and just put something over here. And now the actual back lens, which should, they have the flat here and they have the curved side here to the back. So I'll just clean the very back surface. I think we'll use another one. Will be the last lens tissue for that little project. I mean, it's not that hard to clean the lens. There's something here on the outside which has been there. Yeah, not really something I can do about it. And then the inside of the lens, which should also be cleaned. Yeah, it needs another go. So the surface looks like it is quite good. I can just use the last side here to see if I can do something about the very back surface. There was something on that I couldn't remove, but nah, there's something on, but the inside looks much better. So let's see how it looks through the torch. Oh, yeah, this is all the small dots there is on the back. I mean, it's on the outside of the lens, which I cannot do anything about. So yeah, sad to say, but so it is. Now put it in here. So, and then the retaining ring, and since you screw it in plastic, you do not need any thread locker. So click this, and just gently tighten it. So, and it stays there. Yeah. It's an old lens, so there's not really much I can do about some specs, and so it is. Okay, there is something on the outside there, which I can do something about. Just use the last corner here. Well, it helps a little, as I can see. Now, then I can just put back in the mount. And the pin here needs to go into the small hole there for the aperture. So just put it on here and fix the mount to the holes. will the aperture work? Yeah, pretty good. Also the ring, yeah, fine. So I just need to screw in the 3 screws. And they are non-magnetic, so they could disappear. So this lens actually have a life yet, and I think it can still be used as a good lens. So, and let's see how it actually turned out to be in the very end. Okay, I maybe should just clean the front. Just a little. So here we are. Now, what would it look if I put a torch through it? Well, the back lens is actually really bad, but the front is really good. So something, I mean, the back lens here is simply not. Something has happened with that. But I hope it has given you some inspiration to actually clean a lens or two. There's not really big difference in cleaning lens elements. It's just you have to work proper with gloves. But yeah, so it is. So that was all for me. Hope you enjoy the content and can use it. So see you next time in another tutorial. Bye bye.